much. I'm joined on the stage today by four of my colleagues from around the Commonwealth. Mayor Carolyn Kirk from Gloucester. Mayor Kim Driscoll from Salem. Mayor Lisa Wong from Pittsburgh. And Mayor Donna Holiday from Newburyport. And we also have some other elected officials with us today that will be introduced, but I want to just mention a couple. One is our Attorney General, Martha Coakley. Thank you, General Coakley. We're also joined by our auditor, Suzanne Bump. Our Speaker Pro Tem, Pat Haddad. And also I want to introduce and welcome the woman who introduced me, our City Councilor, Ayanna Presley. I would love to introduce every other elected official behind me, but I will get in trouble for doing that because I think somebody else is going to do that. But there's many colleagues of mine that I serve with in the House of Representatives and the State Senate that are behind me. Also, my colleagues from the City Council that are here today, and also candidates who are running for office that are here today. I want to thank them all for coming. I want to thank NARAL and Planned Parenthood, Mass Now, and all the organizations that help make today possible. As I was walking on the stage, I pulled my notes out, and Mayor Driscoll said to me, "You don't need notes, this is a rally." And I said, I got to make sure I get it all right. So I'm pretty much going to say that I'm disappointed in what the United States Supreme Court has done in the last few decisions they've had. And I can't believe that we're in 2014 and we're worried about what the Supreme Court has done in setting the women's rights and the women's movement back, and not just women's movement, but the entire movement in our country. It's a disgrace what they did, but I want to tell you, and I can speak for my colleagues, from the mayors that are here and the rest of us, we are going to make sure in our cities and towns that we enforce our own laws to make sure that women have the rights to safe health and reproductive services. So as people continue to make the decisions that affect your body, not my body, we make sure that you have the safety and those rights. And we're going to continue to work here. And I have to recognize one of my former colleagues who's behind me, Marty Walsh, who's a former state representative. And when the Supreme Court came down with the ruling on the buffer zone, my police commissioner called me right away. We spoke about Planned Parenthood in Boston. I spoke to Marty Walsh to assure Marty to make sure that we will make sure that women have access to the facility on Beacon Street so they don't get interrupted and get bothered by and intimidated by the people that want to force their message on us. You know, as a state legislator, I was proud to stand up for the rights of women. As a mayor of the city of Boston, I'm proud to stand up and also make sure that your rights are protected. And just to let you know, we will work together as all the mayors, the five of us, and we're going to talk to the other mayors around the Commonwealth of Massachusetts to make sure that your rights aren't taken away, to make sure that our rights aren't taken away, to make sure that the struggles that people have had in this country for decades aren't taken away because of a ruling by the Supreme Court, a wrong ruling that they made. So I want to thank you all for coming out today. Proud to stand here on Boston City Hall Plaza with all of you. We will stand here every day if we have to make sure that our voices get heard. Thank you very much. We stand united.
Okay, so my name is Ayanna Presley. I'm an at-large Boston City Councilor, and along with my other colleagues on the council that are standing behind me today, I want to welcome you to Boston City Hall. It is an honor to serve as today's MC, but it has been my greatest honor to fight for women's access to health care, not just today, but every day. To lead and to partner with so many of you here today in the fight for equality. You know, mere days ago, we celebrated the 50th anniversary of the passing of the historic Civil Rights Act. An act to prohibit discrimination, to eliminate barriers to equality and inclusion. We marked that triumphant day just days ago. And here we are today in a twist of cruel irony, seeking to galvanize a grassroots movement and engage our legislature to reverse the tide of two injustices recently carried out by our Supreme Court with the buffer zone law and the ACA birth control mandate. You know, for a host of reasons, people often caution me against appearing angry in public. I suppose folks worry that the court of public opinion will consider me an emotional woman, not a quality becoming a leader. I suppose folks worry that I'll be pigeonholed as an extreme feminist, or worse, an angry black woman. Well, I'll tell you what. In my opinion, there is no shame in being publicly angry, whomever you are. Whomever you are, whatever your station in life, you should be angry. Hell, it's mandatory to be angry about an injustice. And I am angry. Damn right outraged, because my body is not your hobby. And me, myself, and I, my doctor, my partner, there's no one else I need to counsel or confer with in making healthcare decisions. In the immortal words of Pat Schroeder, I have a uterus and a brain, and they both work. We're outraged about injustice. Recently, I participated in the I Want a World event with Jane Doe and Network Lorette. At that event, I said, I want a world where no one is treated as a second-class citizen. Carl Sciortino, former state rep and current ED for AIDS Action, said, I want a world without shame. In one fell swoop, these recent decisions have resulted in both. Women relegated to second-class status by their access to health care being compromised, and women reduced and forced to wallow in feelings of shame during a vulnerable moment in their life.